Morning, my little sugar nuggets. How are you all doing? I'm doing great. I'm getting ready. As you can see, I have on my Air Force hat and I'm going to have on my fatigue sweatpants, and I'm going to go to my veterans luncheon and have lunch with some fellow veterans in the area. We have lunch together twice a month and we discuss issues that pertain to veterans and different programs that are out in our community that help support veterans and foster relationships with veterans. If you are a veteran, you should get out in your local community because there are a lot of free services that are offered for veterans. There are a lot of free luncheons that are offered to veterans. There are free classes that are offered, and they also have a bunch of job training information or job trainings that are offered to veterans. A lot of things you wouldn't know if you don't get hooked up with your veteran community, your veteran society. You can bring your spouse to most of these events. Every now and then they'll have an event that's specifically just for the veteran, but for the most part, you can bring your spouse. So I've been bringing my husband, who's also retired, and we have built a lot of good friendships, and we have a lot of good laughs. The luncheons normally last between an hour and a half. It just depends on who's sponsoring it. So we sit there, we break bread, we laugh, we talk sometimes about old military experiences, and most of the time we talk about things that are current, that's going on right now. And it's just always good to connect with people who have like minds, people, that are in the same space or have been in the same space as you. All veterans are different because we have some who have been in Vietnam or different wars. I'm not that old, so I have not fought in that. But so my military experience will be different than a person who served in the military in the 40s or the 50s or the 60s, because that's beyond my time. But people who served in the 80s are right in my field, or who are in my branch, because every branch is different. Somebody who served in the armies experience is going to be totally different than a person who served in the Marines or the Navy or the Air Force. So we all have different stories, but believe me, we all are serving the same government. We all have the same end goal when we're in the service, but we just do it in different ways. So thank you for allowing me to speak about my military history. But when I was in the Air Force, I worked as a contract specialist. I was a council payables clerk. And when I did the Air National Guard, I worked as a medic. So I have moved around. All expenses and training were provided by the Air Force. And then I was able to carry on my experiences and my backgrounds on the civilian side. So I worked for the state and I did government contracting for 25 years. So my military experience, it helped me end up to get a job, and I'm able to retire and still seek all of my military benefits that are due to me. Because remember, when you get out the military, if you have served and have an honorable discharge, you can get VA medical, you can get burial expenses reduced or free. It just depends on variables. You have to reach out to your state and see. And for Massachusetts, they give veterans a little stipend in their retirement. Just when I say little, it's little, but it's enough for a couple lunches, I guess. But so if you are a military member and you retire from the state of Massachusetts, you get an extra amount of money in your um, monthly check, which everybody can use an extra buck. I'm not going to even say I'm opposed to that. So there's just little tidbits of information. So even if you're not a veteran, thank you for listening. And hopefully you will share this information with other people that you know who are veterans, whether they're in Massachusetts or not, because every state has different veteran benefits. Massachusetts also offers to a veteran that has a disability percent, they get slashed prices on their taxes. And that's huge because if you know, the taxes on your home and stuff like that is very high. So if you can get a reduction in that, that's great. Get a reduction in any prescriptions that you may have, that's great. So it's a lot of things that people don't realize as a honorable veteran that you can get. Yeah. So thanks. I just wanted to see if I could pause this and go back to it. I wasn't sure. I'm kind of new to YouTube, so I'm trying to figure out all my features. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much for liking. And most of all, share this with a fellow vet or share this on your channel, because you don't know sometimes who is a veteran who might be able to use some of this information. I want to thank you again to all my sugar nuggets. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. I really, 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 really appreciate all of my new subscribers. You mean the world to me. Thank you. Bye-bye.